Monday Night Football, baby. We're here.
There's only one other good play on Minnesota.
Touchdown in 46 seconds. Punches back. Touchdown.
Oh, if you didn't know, it's the NBA Hardwood show on a Friday afternoon here, talking a little 6-game slate in the association over on DraftKings with my man DC to finish out the week strong here. Draft Cheat. I heard there was some shit talking about me yesterday, something about a trampoline, a Victor Wembanyama, and a JSU trying to dunk over said Victor Wembanyama. I heard both you guys were shitting on me here. So, I mean, you can give it to me if you want, because I missed it. I just got a few messages about it.
I can't remember who it was, but someone in chat, for some reason, put the image in our head of you just dunking on Wemby with no trampoline, which made me laugh because, you'd have to be like floating through the air for a period of time to
what did I go through them? What did I say?
Yeah. And then I think Big T suggested, maybe a trampoline would work, which was even funnier. And by the way, you would have no chance because you can't, once you jump off the trampoline, you can't change your trajectory, right? You're just going in, and he would just tie you up and stuff your ass. So that was the conclusion I came to.
Yeah, that'd be tough because, like you said, we literally, I would just be going straight towards the hoop. So even if I got really high in the air, I still got to come down.
Yeah.
And so you probably would still block me, but fuck whoever in chat was trying to make fun of me, and fuck you guys for letting that shit slide. So I do love how DC was like, yeah, it was someone in chat, and then fucking Big T, he just made it worse. And I was like,
he escalated. Yeah.
He definitely does do that. He escalated. All right, Big T. Listen, you go through the trampoline, all right? At least I jumped up on the trampoline. So how about that shit, buddy? Take that fucking shit.
We don't even need Wemby for that one. Big T will be his own defense.
Yeah, Big T wouldn't get off the ground. I can tell you that right now. He wouldn't even get off the ground. All right. Well, let's get into 6-game slate here. Obviously, on DraftKings, finish out the week strong, DC. We do have an awesome weekend. There's actually baseball going on right now. I know you said you were watching some of that before we went on. I saw some bets in the Run Pure Sports Discord, firing away with some baseball bets in there, all types of other bets. And do you have another bet for the people before we get into the NBA slate?
I do, yeah. We'll go to the WBC. I'm 3 for 3 so far today on WBC. So we'll try to finish strong. But Dominican Republic, last time I checked, and I got a bet on this as well, minus 4.5 runs. They got one of our favorite pitchers, Christopher Sanchez, on the hill, and a lineup. It's an all-star team for both Dominican Republic and USA. But 4.5 runs feels light to me for Dominican Republic. So I think they were minus 120. I've hit that. I think it's a good bet. And I actually like the USA minus 9.5 runs as well. I think they're putting up 15, 16. The thing is, like, even the USA's bench players are just absolutely awesome. And, those guys maybe get in there in the 7th, 8th, 9th inning when the game's over. But, like, you're not going to throw away your at-bat in the WBC, right? Like, you're not just going to go up there and say, whatever, the game's out of reach. You're going to keep trying to hit because it's a big stage. So, USA minus 9.5 and Dominican Republic minus 4.5. Maybe you parlay those together and hope for some high-scoring games tonight.
All right, there we go. USA minus 9.5. I saw that lineup come out. They're just so stacked right now. That lineup is sick.
They got Gunnar Henderson, PCA on the bench. It's insane.
Yeah, it's literally like when you do a best ball draft and you look at the first 20 picks and they've got like 10 of they've got like their lineup is like just the best, the first 2 rounds of best ball.
They're facing pitchers who have like a 4.8 ERA in like leagues that you've never heard of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like just the pitchers just have no chance. totally unfair. I mean, yeah, these guys would have like,
and then like some of the teams, they've got like one MLB like
most
player
of them.
that's like decent or two,
Yeah.
but they're like decent. And these guys are like the all-stars. You know what I mean? Like this is like the dream team on steroids going up against like one or two MLB players, and the rest are just guys you've never heard of. Going out there. So yeah, no, I saw my boy Jonathan Aranda hit a bomb though today. I like seeing that. I got a lot
of Aranda in the best ball streets. I'm sure you do too, based on my ranking.
Yep, I do. So it should that'll be fun. The best ball, I've been firing away at the best ball. Also, DraftKings got the early NFL best balls too. If you're into the early bird stuff, kind of predicting where guys go. DJ Moore getting traded. If you were high on, Luther Burden, Colston Loveland, like I was last year and this year, hopefully you got some of that. I got a ton of that, those guys. So I was pretty pumped about DJ Moore getting traded. Not as much because I have DJ Moore, but more because I have the Luther Burden, Colston Loveland combo here. So I want to see JSU have a Michelob Ultra because I'm having one. Bro, East LA Fantasy Guru, I've had a couple beers in my life. I don't think I've ever had an Ultra. I don't think an Ultra is one. I've only had a few beers, Coors, Bud. The Ultra, definitely not. DC, is that bad? Is that bad? I've never had a Michelob Ultra.
You might like it because it's like the most tasteless beer you can possibly find. It tastes closest to water, I think, of any beer out there.
Like more than Bud Light?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
A little bit more. I mean, they all kind of, I think they all kind of taste the same, those light beers. But yeah, if you, if you gave me a case right now, those Ultras could be gone pretty quickly.
Well, if they taste like water, I guess you're going to definitely slam those things down. That's what T-Burp saying. He said, tastes like water. Well, hey, if it tastes like warm water, DC, I might be able to slug some of those down real quick too. So I'm a warm water guy. Got my warm water here. Where's my boy Rick Majerus at? Warm water season, baby. We got my boy DeBills in the chat. Insane to me that people are thinking about NFL. That's all right, Christian. You don't have to think about NFL. I'll think about it for you, okay? Don't worry about it. I'll think about it for you. I'm with you. Beer sucks. Water's better. It doesn't even taste good. DC, beer doesn't taste good to you, does it?
Oh, yes.
The wrong person to talk about, I guess. The wrong person. Zero chance JSU has ever had a cold beverage of any kind in his life. The kid, that is false. I've had a cold beverage before. I just prefer to have mine warmer room temperature. That's just a preference. But I have had cold beverages before. When you go out, like everything is iced. Whenever you go out anywhere, you're getting ice water.
You need to travel to Europe more often. They'll give you nice warm water.
Yeah, you're right. I should go. I'm not traveling right now, DC, but eventually, maybe I will get out and get to Europe here at some point. But yeah, no, I've had an IPA before. I'm just not a beer guy. I can't do it. And DC's the wrong person to talk to because he's the opposite of me when it comes to the beer and stuff like that. So I digress. Let's go to the actual thing that we were here to discuss, DC, which is the 6-game NBA slate on DraftKings here. And we got a few different start times for these games. Obviously, you got a couple games that start at 7, game that starts at 8, and then 9, and 9:30. So it might be a slate where you got to stay up a little bit, DC, because you got like the early starts with the 2 games and then some games later. So it's going to be interesting with the lineups. But first game I do want to go through as long as let's pull up Saber right now. Oh, we'll go to the Charlotte one first, actually. Charlotte, Miami, one of the 2 7:00 games here. Miami is definitely one of the interesting teams on this slate, DC, because they got a few guys out. No Norman Powell. It looks like Andrew Wiggins is going to miss. I think they have him listed as doubtful. So that's kind of, oh no, he's already listed as out. So that's good. Fontecchio's still out. Jovic is still out. Anyone else they have that's still Out. Nope. Drew Smith is probable. So those 4 guys pretty much all out for Miami. Should open up a little bit more playing time for some of these guys here, DC, especially with Wiggins being out. That'll open up some nice run here and maybe some value. Khalil Ware last couple games has been absolutely crushing. He, to me, still looks pretty cheap, 5,400 for his upside. And he's just good, but I will say Charlotte is just a tough matchup right now. These Charlotte Hornets are playing really well. They blew out Boston last time out. That was a crazy game, and now they get Miami at home. I mean, it is a tough spot, but I do think Miami's a team we're going to have to target a little bit for DFS. What do you think?
Yeah, I had the dubious distinction of having both Khalil Ware and Victor Wembanyama on my team yesterday and not cashing, which was tough to do with 130 combined points with them. But hopefully some people tailed, especially the Wembanyama play of the day pick. That was awesome. You needed him. But yeah, I mean, a different spot for Miami here, right? It was Brooklyn last night. Now they're underdogs after being big favorites. But you take Wiggins out of the equation rather, and they're getting pretty thin at the wing, right? They've got Jaquez, obviously, Pell Larson, Hero can play there. But like they don't have much for wings. So I've got interest in Larson and Jaquez. I think the minutes are going to be there. Yes, a tough matchup, but reasonable price points for both. And if you need a cheap guy, and honestly, it doesn't look like there's super great value, obviously waiting on some news, but right now, not the best value slate in the world. What about this? I think he's a rookie point guard for the Heat, Kasparis. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name, but I mean, he's getting minutes, 22, 21 minutes.
Do it. Pronounce it. Let's hear it.
Yaxionis?
I think it's Yakachunas. I think.
All right. Yeah, I give myself a B for that effort. So we'll take it.
I bet him a couple times, so I've been rooting him in a few times when he's gotten some runs. So he's actually a pretty decent player when he has the ball in his hands. Problem is, even when he gets runs, sometimes he stands in the corner sometimes. The one good thing though about the Heat, DC, which I like, is they do move the ball well. So like some of these random guys can have big, like we've seen Pele Larson have big games when guys are out. We've seen Drew Smith at times, Gardner at times. So it's like it is one of those teams. That's why I kind of like them, where it's not all about the stars, all the time, at least.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. So he feels a little thin, but I do think you'll get 20, 25 minutes out of him for 3,700. Seems like a decent player. So yeah, I think he's in play. I like Hero some, and then Larson and Jaquez. I just don't see how they don't play big minutes. It wasn't long ago. I mean, Larson was playing, 35 minutes a night for a 5-game stretch there just a couple of games ago. I think we'll see that tonight. So 35 minutes of a solid point per minute production at 5,200 feels good. Jaquez has been awesome these last 2 games. And yeah, maybe you don't love the matchup, but the NBA should be a close game. So I like the Heat here. Where I feel like this might be the game to jump off the Khalil Ware train, but he probably gets to play alongside Bam Adebayo significantly with all the guys they have out, which isn't always the case for him. So Ware at 5,400, he's got to be a pretty good play again. I assume he'll get, 40% ownership. So might jump off the train here. I don't think he's a bad play by any means.
Yeah, I do think he'll get a chance to play alongside Bam a little bit here, obviously. So that's not a worry for me. It'll be interesting to see, though, who they start, DC, for Wiggins. Because I do think you're going to see, obviously Hero, Larson, Mitchell, Bam. That 5th starter is going to be interesting how they roll it. It could be, I think a couple. Honestly, I think it could be Yakachiunis or Gardner even. I could see one of those 2 guys starting. I don't think they're going to start Ware next to Bam. But I don't think you need that anyways for him at that price tag. So,
I mean, like Jaquez is the obvious one, but I have a feeling they might.
He's not going to start though. He'll play. He's not going to start. So I kind of like if I'm going to probably like, either Jokic or Gardner, whoever starts there. I'm probably going to like, and then I'll definitely like. Honestly, like Jaime and Khalil Ware off the bench are the two guys that I'm going to probably like.
Yeah, Miami looks good. Hopefully they can keep this game close, get the full minutes. If they do, I think we'll see some good values out of him. I wish Charlotte was missing some guys. They're fully healthy. I think Brandon Miller remains my favorite. And Charlotte, 6 straight wins. I believe like all of them have been blowouts or close to blowouts. So again, I've made this point recently with Charlotte. It hasn't proven true because they continue to crush teams. But these minutes for really all the Charlotte starters are kind of artificially low. If this is a close game, I think all their guys get significant minute bumps, all their main guys, that is.
Yeah, and Jake says 12 stocks for Ware last night. Yeah, he did have 12 stocks. Even if you took those 12 stocks all off, though, DC, which, by the way, he's that type of player. He will randomly have those big stock games. So, yes, 12 is not normal. That's not going to happen again. But could he have 5? Yeah, easily. But let's just take those 12 off, DC. He's still scoring enough to make you happy with this price tag with 16, 11, and 1 right there. So, and that's if you took all those stocks off. So I get it. Like the stocks won't be there, obviously, but you don't need 12 stocks from Khalil Ware at that price tag is more my point. He gets you low 30s and you'll be okay with it. He gets you mid 30s, high 30s. You're going to be really happy. And anything over that, obviously you're going to need him if he gets you 40 plus.
I made the point last night that it was such a good matchup for Ware, partly because Brooklyn turns the ball over. They're third in the league in turnovers. That's great for stocks. Charlotte's second. Maybe kind of surprising given that they're playing well, but second in the league in turnovers. Again, a pretty good stock spot for Ware. And Charlotte also gives up the 4th most offensive rebounds of any team in the league. Another good thing for Ware can score underneath there. So, yeah, maybe talking myself back onto Khalil Ware will kind of depend on how the slate shakes out, if I think I can fade that value. But clearly a good play. Just the ownership, given how good he's been, could get a little out of control.
Yeah, it definitely could. Pepe Silva thinks Gardner's going to start. I could see it. Helping me out, Yako Chunis. Okay. Yako Chunis is apparently how you pronounce it. Thank you very much. What's Larson look like on Saber? He's not projecting very well right now. So
I got him for 23 fantasy points. I'd take the over on that.
Yeah, I feel like that's a little low, but he's not. But he's one of those guys that he can have big games. Like he's one of those guys specifically that I bring up. So yeah, not projecting very well though. B-Nair keeps talking about power forward, just scrolling through power. We can scroll through power forward real quick. He says it's disgusting. I will trust you in that, B-Nair, but we'll take a scroll through.
It does look bad. Zion is to the top projected power forward at 33 fantasy points. That's ugly.
Well, Jason Tatum, he can't even play. Denny's already been pretty much ruled out. He's doubtful. Dillon Brooks arrested. Terrible mugshot, by the way. Dude, get a fucking Uber. Dillon Brooks, get a fucking Uber. You idiot. These guys like the NFL, they've already had guys like kill people with their cars and shit. And the NBA guys, like, what are they waiting for something like that to happen before they fix? Like, get them a car service. NBA, do whatever you need to do. Like, these athletes should not be driving. They have way too much money, DC. Hire a fucking service, or get an Uber, or pay your buddy a few grand to just like pick you up at the end of the night. Like, I'm sure there's someone willing to do it that needs the money, DC. I'm all these guys have buddies. I'm sure there's someone that would take the coin to even short coin to just fucking drive you around.
Yeah, no excuse for it, especially when you're making, I don't know what Brooks is making, but $20
Too
million
much
a
money.
year.
Like,
Yeah.
what does he got? What did he make? Like, he's probably made $100 million in his NBA career.
Yeah.
Now I got to look. What's Dillon Brooks' contract? Dillon
I guess $20 million a year.
contract. Let's see. 4 years, $86 million. Dillon Brooks is on his third year of a 4-year, $86 million deal.
Yeah.
So what'd you say? 20? He's
Yeah,
making
20 was my guess, which is close.
yeah, he's making like 21.5, something like that. And he's on his third year of that. So he's made, over 60 mil. I think he could afford a service or someone to drive him around here. It's just absolutely insane. But I digress. Back to power forward. You got Jabari Smith. Oh my God, he's questionable. We might not even have him. Sadiq Bey is definitely going to be hurt, probably by them being healthy. OG Grant. Oh man, this power forward is gross. Beanair was not lying.
He wasn't.
We're gonna have to pull some gems at power forward. That's definitely disgusting. All right, well, that's power forward for you. Beanair was not lying at all. Yeah, got to start an athlete car service. Yeah, you should. Someone should. You know what though? They probably the hard part with these guys, they probably still wouldn't even use it. You could have the service. Some of these guys probably still wouldn't even use it. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
Got to start like taking their money. You got to start like being able to take their money away when they do dumb shit, even when they don't hurt anyone. But you got to start like really finding them to the point where it hurts their wallet enough, not just like $100K, so something big enough to where these guys are like DC when Russell Westbrook was giving it to the media. I don't know if you saw it. I think it was yesterday. He was like hammering the media for like a few minutes, calling out people and stuff. And then he stopped mid-sentence and he's like, I don't want to swear because I don't want to get the fine, but you know what I'm gonna say or something like that. And you got to make them think like, I don't want to get that fine because I don't want to cost myself $1 million or $500K, or it's got to be something big though. It can't be something short money. It can't be $20K, $25, $30K.
No, that's not going to do it. But yeah, I agree with you completely.
Yeah, power forward's weak. All right, the Charlotte side, I'm with you. I think it's Brandon Miller is the main play. Just because of how gross power forward is, though, maybe I'll throw Miles Bridge in there. I don't really want to play him. I don't love it, but he's a mid-tier power forward. You might fall into this range when you're building. So I could see me just building, landing on a Miles Bridges. And I guess like it's not the worst play in the world. Again, not someone I'm trying to play, but if I land there, I could be okay with it with how bad power forward is. So
yeah, I'm fine with Bridges. Yep.
Gardner, power forward only if he starts. He has to. Yeah, if Gardner starts, I'm playing him for sure. He's power forward and he's 3K. I mean, yes, I might play him anyways. Honestly, he's definitely more risky if he doesn't start. The minutes are a little more of risk, I think, if he does not get that.
Definitely.
So
Yep.
just be careful of that here. Not sure on Bay. We'll get to Bay. I got thoughts. We'll get to him in a second here. Washington or Middleton at power forward is all right. I do like PJ. Let's go to that game here. DC, Dallas, and Boston here. The big return, Mr. Jason Tatum, I guess, is going to come back tonight, play around, I think they said 20 minutes was the cap around there. So maybe 20 exactly, maybe low 20s, but something like that, which it kind of sucks because in my opinion, it really does hurt the upside of just about every Boston player I'd think about playing in this matchup. And then on top of it, DC, I do worry a little bit that this game, what if the game blows out, stuff like that. Dallas is still missing some pieces or potentially missing more pieces. So this game's in Boston, Tatum's return. The only thing I'll also say about it is when a guy like this returns, DC, it could go one of two ways, where it's like it could go really bad to where they're figuring out how to, because they've been playing so long without him, and this team isn't the same team they finished with last year, right, DC? It's a little different. So it might take some time for them to figure out a little bit how to play with him back in the lineup. You wonder how that affects the lineup a little bit here. Maybe that's a case that I'm talking myself into maybe some Dallas here, but I think it kills the DFS interest in Boston.
But I mean, Boston was already a tough team when they have all their guys healthy: White, Pritchard, Jaylen Brown. Now you add Tatum to the mix. Brown's price is all the way up to $10K, which I think that's about as high as we've ever seen Jaylen Brown. Yeah, he's been right around $10K for a while now and deserved it. But 20 minutes of Tatum, I mean, most of that's probably going to come with Jaylen Brown. I would imagine Tatum goes into the starting lineup. So yeah, that's not ideal. Still think Brown's fine, but he's really the only guy other than a cheap Kata that I'm looking at. Kata, he put up 60 against Philly. I wouldn't have seen that one coming, but normally doesn't have a ton of upside. Dallas obviously got Cooper Flagg back, who looked awesome in 26 minutes last night. I still think too expensive at 8,800. I can't imagine on a back-to-back coming back that his minutes are going to go up much, if any. I could actually potentially see them toning it down a little bit with Cooper Flagg on the second half of a back-to-back here. So he's kind of out of the equation.
The DC, the only thing I'll say about that, I would agree with you. And any other, I think this is a spot that Cooper Flagg is going to want to play. He was talking about how Jason Tatum was one of the guys he grew up watching. He emulated his game after, and you could tell there was a level of like admiration, respect, like just all this stuff when he was talking about Jason Tatum that you normally don't hear like NBA guys talk about. It literally sounded like a young kid kind of like, whoa, that's Kobe Bryant who just walked by me, or I'm on the same floor as, Shaq or MJ or something, like, you know what I mean? Like that's how it sounded when he was talking about was like, it's going to be really cool to see, you know what I mean? To see him come back, to play against them for the first time. And I'm sure all these guys, like all like the stars, superstars, like I'm sure the first time Kobe played MJ or Allen Iverson played, like all these guys played like the guy they looked up to. They're like, yeah, this is cool. You know what I mean? But I could see a little, like also competitiveness, like let me play a little bit more. DC, I want to go a little bit in this spot. So
yeah,
I don't want to play Cooper Flagg, but I could see them actually maybe giving him more, maybe have limited him last night for this game, honestly.
It's possible. I still think too expensive at 8,800. I mean, even if he was just a straight up full go, it's not a good matchup. They're 15-point dogs on the road. I get it. Good story for sure. Excited to see this game, but
Flagg's also from Maine. I do remember this. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to play him. Nobody is. He's going to be like 1% owned. So if you're right, certainly an edge there. But yeah, his return kind of takes a lot away from Dallas. Now they are missing both, it looks like, Gafford and Bagley, both doubtful for this game. So you got to play someone at center. I mean, Dwight Powell has been good in 3 of the last 4. I don't really want to click him. They've got Cisse there. He's not a high upside play. I don't know if I can go to these guys, but there will be a cheap starting center option on Dallas if you do want to go that direction.
Yeah, I think this is maybe the case to play PJ. Again, another power forward here. This could be the case. Maybe they roll him out like the small unit, DC. They roll him out at the 5, Cooper. Chris Middleton, kind of the smaller size, and PJ's
Yep.
got to play up a little bit. So Najee, what do we think about Najee here, DC? He's only small forward. He's not power forward. He does have, I think Najee's the one that Cooper hurts the most. What do you think,
Yeah,
DC?
I agree. Him and Brandon Williams, but yeah, I'm out on Najee. Give me Washington over Najee if you're making that decision. And yeah, Washington, I think he goes in that Miles Bridges bucket where you're not really excited to play him. You're not thinking there's a ton of upside maybe, but you'd also take 30, 35 probably out of your power forward for 6,200. So yeah, I do think Washington makes for a reasonable play on this particular slate.
God, I want to play Cooper Flag, but I wish he wasn't. I wish there was no minutes thing or anything like that. I would totally be playing him right now. It sucks that he's not a full go. Yeah, this is a tough spot. I'm probably not playing the Dwight Powells like you said. I rather we get a Miami cheapier too. I rather go to that side for a cheap play. So yeah. Imagine playing Julian Reese for the first time. Well, if you played him last night or 2 nights, whenever it was, he friggin' smashed. So that would be.
He's saying if you're an NBA player sharing the court with Julian Reese, it'd be
that's what he's saying. Of course, I read that incorrectly. Yeah, I don't think anyone's thinking about that. But hey, imagine they're probably imagining his sister, but not him. Unfortunately, that's got to be tough. Your sister is a bigger star than you, and you're walking on the floor, and people see him, and they're like, "Oh, that's Angel Reese's brother." You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure people have said that. Like,
"Oh yeah,
that's Angel Reese's brother." So, Hugo, garbage time. I do love myself some Hugo, but man, his run, Tatum coming back is really gonna hurt Mr. Hugo Gonzalez's run, I think, but. Yeah, maybe in garbage time. Maybe get some garbage time here. We'll see on that one. Let's go to the 8 o'clock window here, DC. Guys, don't forget, smash the like button here on the video and subscribe to the Rumpier Sports YouTube channel here. Ring the bell, subscribe, get notified every time we go live with these free shows. I'll have another free show for you guys tomorrow. Actually, 2 free shows. We got college basketball. It is March, of course, March Madness around the corner. Our guy Stevie Boynton will have you covered with all the college basketball winners tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern time for college basketball. If you're playing that big, I think 12 game slate, he said over there on DraftKings. And then 11 a.m. Eastern time, me and Mike will be breaking down the massive MMA card for tomorrow's MMA.
Who you got, Max or Charles?
I want to be on Charles, but I cannot. I have to be on Max. I think it's one of those fights where my head looks at it and sees the plus money on Charles and is like, idiot, plus money on Charles, like. But then I look over and I see Max Holloway and I'm like, I can't bet against Max Holloway. I refuse to bet against them. And so that's unfortunately, I hate betting against Charles. Charles and Max are like 2 of the nicest fighters of all time. I hate betting against either of them. They seem like super cool guys. Who are you on? You seem pretty amped about it. Who are you on?
I'm on the Max side, but he's one of my very, very favorite fighters. Just watching him fight, and then like everything you said, seems like an awesome guy.
He's like his striking is so insane, and I do think one of Charles's mistakes is going to be falling a little in love with pointing to the ground, or maybe getting into a striking brawl with him. Even though Charles has power, dude, you're grappling is where it's at, man. Try and get there, but I don't think he's going to.
Max is tough to drag down to the ground and keep him there. So I think Max is going to light him up on the feet is what I think.
We'll see. It should be interesting here. Oh God, B-Nair's got everyone talking about Angel Reese's boyfriend. think it's Wendell Carter, if I remember correctly. I don't know. All right, back to Portland and Houston here next up. And I do think we have some questionables here in this game. Amen Thompson. Yeah, Amen Thompson listed as questionable. And you got Jabari Smith also listed as questionable for Friday's game. And DC, I wouldn't be shocked at all. Jabari Smith played Golden State. Was it last night? Yeah, last night. He played 42 minutes in that game. Amen Thompson played 44 minutes, DC. I would not be shocked at all if these guys sat out tonight here after playing those type of minutes. I mean, these Houston guys play a ton of minutes.
Yeah.
So if these guys are out, which I know we had this situation yesterday and then it didn't happen, but if these guys are out, then Houston would become a very a much funner spot on this slate, I will say, if they're out. If they're in, I don't like it as much, but it's fun to talk about the ifs on these Houston guys here because I do think they become one of the better targets on the slate.
Yeah, I mean, third game of the night, the only one in this 8 o'clock window. In the first two, I mean, we like some Miami guys, but like Dallas, Boston, we weren't very high on. Charlotte, yeah, you can play Miller or Bridges, but like not a lot of must plays. So, you can build your roster to kind of wait on this Houston news. And then there's still three, solid games after this to pivot to if it doesn't go your way. So I do think backloading tonight does make quite a bit of sense. And yeah, I mean, Thompson, Jabari, huge minutes last night. I bet one of them at least sits tonight would be my guess. I did kind of think that last night they all ended up playing. Didn't stop Reed Shepherd, though, from getting the big minutes, 37 minutes in the overtime game. Another huge game from Shepherd. I've been a fan of his all year long. And you can play him even if these guys are in. I mean, he's getting the minutes right now. They need scoring. They need guards. And Shepherd's been awesome. And the matchup's pretty good here against Portland. So I like Shepherd regardless. Certainly gets a bump especially if Amen sits, but he gets a bump too if Jabari is out. I did unfortunately have Tari Eason last night. Didn't get there despite playing 34 minutes. I certainly would have thought he would have a solid game in those types of minutes, but he would be another guy you could look at, especially if Jabari sits. I think Eason is the number one guy who gets the benefit. So I think a good spot for Houston here obviously depends on the Jabari and Amen news to some degree, but I still like Shepherd and Eason even a little bit if both those guys play. So I'm in on Houston here, obviously kind of pending news. Portland side, to me, they just kind of have a lot of guys that are decent plays, but nothing that really stands out. Looks like Saber agrees. They've got the top 5 values in this game, all coming from the Rockets side of the ball. But yeah, Drew Holiday, Jeremy Grant. Grant goes in the Bridges and PJ Washington tier in that kind of mid to low 6K power forward range where it's not the most exciting play, but at least you're going to get the minutes. He can get hot from 3 sometimes. I think Jeremy Grant, interesting as well, just because of the difficulty of power forward today.
Yeah, Zach asked the question, KD, LaMelo, Ware, or Brunson, Murray, Middleton. I would say, especially if these Houston guys are out, I definitely would like 1 more than 2. If these Houston guys are in, though, I think it's closer between 1 and 2. I will say also, I don't love playing multiple power forwards, honestly, on the slate. So I would try and stick to 1. So if like Middleton's obviously a power forward, so if you have multiple power forwards, I wouldn't love that as much. So that would make me want to lean 1 as well. But Jake says second 1. So there you go. LaMelo never does. That's the one thing I didn't like about the 3v3 was LaMelo. I agree. He's a tough click with the minutes. The minutes for him just suck. That's the one thing with LaMelo. It's just
and they never spike up. Like it just doesn't happen. Yeah.
And honestly, when the game goes really bad, he loses even more minutes. So it's even worse. You know what I mean? So when they play well, he gets killed from a minutes perspective.
He needs the perfect run out to approach 30, and anything other than that, and you're sometimes looking at like 23 minutes or something for like an $8,800 player. It's tough.
Yep, I agree. But the Portland side here, I do think you could put Jeremy Grant in the bucket. Jeremy Grant is the funniest player. So like 2 games ago, he couldn't make a shot. He scored 11 fantasy points, played 26 minutes. They got blown out. The last game, drops 30 actual points, 30 and 9, scores 49 fantasy points. When this dude's scoring, DC, he's, that's when he's like in the game. If he's not scoring though, he just completely checks out. That's the problem with Jeremy Grant. But when he's scoring, he can definitely get you there. It is a tough spot though against Houston, I will say. And I with you on Reed Shepherd. They just need shooting. Honestly, like looking at this roster, they desperately, when they lost Fred VanVleet before the season, like shooting was a massive problem when they had him. So Reed Shepherd, I knew at some point was going to have to be a thing for this team to even be like solid. And he's starting to figure it out, it looks like. And they're starting to let him go. Also, they're starting to trust him a little bit more, which is good.
Look at the 3-point attempts for Reed Shepherd the last 6 games. 9, 16, 7, 11, 11, and 12.
Because I guarantee you, when he's out there, they're telling him to shoot those, to take those shots. Because these other guys, they don't want these other guys shooting. Amen, Eason, those aren't good shooters. You know what I mean? Like KD's KD, but the rest, like, and then their bench is awful. You got a Kogi, DFS is a one-trick pony, Holiday. Like, it's just, the bench is really tough. So, yeah, I mean, he's been good, though. So, either way, I think he's in play. Eason, I need one of these two. I need probably both these guys, but at least one of them to be out to play Eason, I think. And then, KD, Şengün. If both these guys are out, I'm going to definitely want KD. So.
Yeah, no argument there. Houston looks good. I think maybe the favorite team we've talked about so far.
What about Klingon? You like a little cheeky elbow for an ejection? What do you think of that?
That was painful. I had a lot of Klingon, and he was off. He had a monster first half. He played 12 minutes. He put up 29 fantasy points in freaking 12 minutes before getting it. That must have been in the second quarter. He got tossed. I think
Robert Williams crushed too.
What's that?
I said him. Robert Williams crushed. He was on his way to crushing.
Yeah. I think Klingon's fine. I don't have a problem with it. He's a monster.
Yeah, I always like Klingon, Drew. Those are my 2 guys from Portland. Klingon and Drew. Those are the guys with the pretty big upside. The rest can go. Yeah, he's out here looking like BYU Jimmer. Yeah, I mean, BYU Jimmer, he could hoop. I never get KD right either. Reason I never play KD. But if they're missing 2 of their starters, that'll be the time to play KD. But I'm with you. I'm normally a never KD guy here. So if they're in, I'm staying away. But if they're out, then I might have to just swallow it and play some KD here, even though I don't want to. All right, next game up. New York Knicks and Denver. Oh, I'm sorry. We'll go by Saber. My bad. Phoenix and New Orleans up here. And I think both these teams, was it last night? I know Pelicans played last night. Did Phoenix? Yeah, Phoenix played last night too. And now we get DeJounte Murray back for the Pels here. So they're even healthier tonight. He missed last night. It does, I think, hurt Sadiq Bey a decent amount. I think DeJounte back kind of hurts a lot of these guys' upside, DC. What do you think about that? Zion has struggled to really have upside all throughout the year. I think I'm DeJounte Murray or kind of pass on the Pelicans.
That's where I'm at. I do like DeJounte Murray quite a bit, though. I mean,
Me too.
his fifth game back, sat out last night, so you got to think the minutes should be there. So far, minutes in 4 games, 25, 26, 22, and then 28 in the most recent one. Now he's had a couple days off. Yeah, I mean, I think he could get 30 minutes here for 6,400. That's a good buy. So I like DeJounte quite a bit. Sadiq Bey, I agree. He takes a hit with DeJounte in there, but I still think on this slate he's okay at 6,600 at that one power forward spot that you've got to fill. And then the other guy I really like in this game, no surprise he'll be popular, but Oso Agudero I think is a pretty good play. 36 minutes last night. They have no Mark Williams and really no center to speak of behind Agudero, right? It's Kaman Malak and CJ Huntley are the two kind of backup fives here. So, if things go well for Agudero, if he's playing decent, close game, I think he gets the 30-plus minutes again. 5,200 seems pretty good to me. He's not the most exciting DFS player, but I think he's got a good shot at 30-plus fantasy points tonight.
Yeah, that Malak dude was the first-round pick from this past year from Duke. I'm pretty sure from Duke, the big center. You would think it's at some point he gets some run, but Osu's looked pretty good. And they probably trust him a lot more. He's been getting the minutes, which is always nice and stuff. I do agree with Joe here. He says if Royce is out, Ryan Dunn at power forward. I do think Ryan Dunn becomes a little more interesting if Royce O'Neal is ruled out. So we'll see if we get that news here, because his minutes would definitely go up. Royce is really what kills Ryan Dunn's minutes, because they prefer him obviously when Royce is in. But if Royce is out, I think Ryan Dunn definitely gets a minutes boost, along with, they're still without Goodwin, who played a solid role, Mark Williams, and Dillon Brooks. So they're missing a few kind of guys that play forward if Royce is out. So Ryan Dunn makes a lot of sense. And honestly, I think Phoenix is the more interesting side, DC, because their star, Devin Booker, he's solid, but he's not one of those guys that is flashing upside that much, because these other guys, like Grayson Allen's been really good this year. Colin Gillespie's had some really good games. They got Jalen Green finally back and has played the last, stretch, it feels like, because he was out for a long time. And, all these guys can have their games, you know what I mean? Grayson Allen's been really good. I think I kind of might talk myself into maybe playing 2 of these guards. I even like Green and Gillespie as tournament plays. I think they're decent tournament plays. Gillespie did not get there last game. He got pulled too, which was weird, but he wasn't having the best game. He was 1 for 6 from the floor, 25 minutes. They ended up losing. They ended up going with a different lineup, but I could see a bounce back for him against the Pelicans, and I could see someone like Jalen Green taking advantage of the Pelicans as well. He hasn't had too many big games, but 6,600 seems like a matchup. If he's taking 15 to 20 shots, DC, I think he can get there.
Yeah, I don't mind that. Yeah, I don't think Booker's declined as a player. Just the circumstance, the guys he's playing with a bunch of shooters. And so the usage isn't there for Booker. We've talked about that all season long. I've played almost no Booker, and it's worked out. I mean, he just doesn't have the 50 fantasy.
Booker and Zion. I've been just staying away from both these guys, and they just have not gotten there.
A lot of 40s, but no 50s, and you kind of need that at the 8K price tag. So I'll do the same thing tonight. I'm not going to play Booker.
Look at Grayson Allen, how consistent. No, I don't think there's any person before the year that ever thought Grayson Allen was going to be this consistent as a fantasy player.
Still coming off the bench, right? I think he's coming off the bench still. But he's like Hawkes a little bit, where just it doesn't really matter. They get their 35 minutes or close to it anyway. So yeah, I think I would rather play Grayson Allen than Booker. It's weird to say.
The problem with Phoenix is they just have 3 volume shooters, Booker, Allen, and Green. So like they all just hurt each other from like the massive games. So the cheaper ones are the ones you want to play, pretty much is the point of that.
You like Agudero or Ware better if you're choosing between the two?
Oh man, the matchup's better for Iguodaro. I think still the upside for me has to lie with Ware. So I'd lean Ware. Well, where would you go?
I think it's close. I agree with your analysis. I think Ware is way more likely to give you 40 plus, but I think Oso has the higher floor with the minutes certainty.
Yes. And the better spot.
Yep.
I definitely think it's a better spot.
Yeah, agreed.
For him. So, yeah, good one though. Ryan Dunn, power forward. That's another power forward to keep your eye on here. I think you could probably play some. Like it's not the worst play just because it's a power forward if Royce O'Neal's in, but I definitely prefer Royce out to really go to him. But that's a good pull at power forward right there. All right, so Pels Phoenix, that is that. Let's get to the final game here of the slate. Back on board, Mr. Victor Wembanyama coming through last game here. 39 minutes, 38 points, 16 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 blocks. Shot 50% from the field. DC, 76 fantasy points. That's the upside we like to see from Mr. Victor Wembanyama. Now, this is the back end of the back-to-back here. They are playing the Clippers. Normally, the Clippers are a team I don't love stacking up against or attacking too much because of the way they play, honestly. But, I mean, can we go back to Victor Wembanyama? He just got it done against the Detroit team, a tough Detroit team. I mean,
part of the reason I was so high on Wembanyama yesterday was because of the narrative street. He's got some beef with Detroit, who plays tough. Potential finals preview between the Spurs and the Pistons. And I thought the minutes could go higher in that circumstance, and they did. Season high, I believe, in minutes for Wembanyama at 39. I don't know. I mean, I think the most likely thing is they want to scale those minutes back, right? They're not going to run Wembanyama out there 30-plus minutes in back-to-back games. Now, he could still get there in 30, right? He's obviously that good. But all the reasons I liked him yesterday, none of them are true here necessarily. Like, I think the minutes are going to come back down. So I don't have a problem with Wembanyama if that's what you land on, but not a priority like he was last night for me.
Yeah, this just screams like a spot where we see like a Devin Vassell or a Julian Champagny who is questionable with right knee soreness, which, by the way, if he's out, that's a nice bump, I think, to Vassell and to maybe like a Keldon Johnson, Dylan Harper, DC as well. They are on a back-to-back. Like, I think those guys would get a nice little bump here. So keep an eye on that news. That could be interesting if you were to miss, but it feels like a bounce back spot for Vassell. And I do agree with you. It feels like a spot where they should be able to tone the minutes down a little bit for Wemby. But I still think Wemby could get there, even if he plays 31, 32. I just don't know if he plays another 39 on a back at home. I don't think they need him to in this spot, or they shouldn't need him to, really. We'll see on that. But yeah, I kind of like a bounce back spot for one of Vassell, especially if Champagne's out. I do think one or two Clippers that I have interest in. Benny Mathurin, this spot kind of sets up for someone like him. They're going to need someone who can, score, like not always just attacking the rim, but can, stretch the floor a little bit and create his own shot. And they don't really have too many of those guys on this roster. Obviously they got Kawhi. No Darius Garland, though, tonight. DC, I mean, I think it's going to be a two-man show. If this game stays close, I think it's because of Kawhi and Benny. And honestly, Kawhi's game kind of fits, I feel like, for this matchup. It's all like middies.
Yeah, I like Kawhi and Benny. Those are the two guys, I think, for the Clippers that you want to consider. John Collins also out. He's kind of a higher usage guy. So they got like Derek Jones plays minutes. Chris Dunn, starting point guard tonight, is he's about as close to an offensive zero as you get as a starting point guard. So it should be a lot of Kawhi and Benny Mack. I think both guys are good plays. And if you're on Wemby, the way he gets to the minute ceiling is it's a close game, right? And if that happens, I think Kawhi and Benny both have good games. So potentially a nice game stack here on the last game of the night if you think this one stays close.
Yeah, it's just all about, does this game, stay close? Does it, blow out or something like that? I will say also too, just to note, the Clippers did lose that backup center, Niederhauser, however you say his name, who actually had a few decent games for this team, especially when games would kind of go south. And their backup big is Isaiah Jackson, formerly of the Pacers here. And we have seen Isaiah Jackson randomly in spots have some decent games. He is 3,300. I do think it's not it's probably more of an MME value play, but I'm not a Brook Lopez guy. Brook Lopez is a guy that they really I don't think want to push the minutes too far with anyways. So Isaiah Jackson could potentially maybe play like 20 minutes or 18 to 20 minutes, regardless of how the game goes, and maybe gets there at 3,300. So, and then obviously you got the blowout potential too. So I think he's someone, DC, I would keep in the pool if you're playing some Clippers tonight. I do agree with you though. Like if you're playing like Benny, it's like Benny, Kawhi, like you could even play those guys together. I think if I'm playing Jackson, I'm playing him like solo with the Clippers.
Yeah, agreed.
So, yeah, but I do like this game. I think this game is interesting, and I don't normally like Clippers spots here. So, yeah, solid spot here. Let's go back because I was going through the Sabre order of games, and then I skipped the Denver one because of the DraftKings order. It just threw me off. But New York and Denver will finish us out here. This game is in Denver. Another team on the back end of a back-to-back with the Denver Nuggets here. They played last night, got the dub at home against LA, and now they get the New York Knicks. Not an amazing matchup, but a spot Jokic can still easily get there against. Big news for Denver is it looks like they'll maybe get back Aaron Gordon tonight. It seems like he's going to make his return, DC, which I don't think he's going to play a ton. He's had a hamstring injury. He dealt with injuries for a while, even back to last year in the playoffs where he played through that injury, but was in and out. And he's a guy I'm sure they don't want to stretch from a minutes perspective. So, again, another situation where I don't think he affects Jokic and Murray too much, but I think he affects everybody else under him. Everyone else's line, I think he's going to hurt a little bit here. So that comes to my point of if I'm playing Denver, it's mainly Jokic or Murray. And DC, I think it's pretty easy. It's kind of like what we were doing with Boston, where it was like the main studs and everyone else was kind of tough to get to. I think that the Denver kind of fits that mold tonight.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I mean, Jokic is playing huge minutes right now. It's like 35 plus every night. They need wins. They're struggling defensively. Gordon will help that, of course, if he's back. But and then, the matchup against the Knicks against centers isn't good on paper, but we've talked about it a lot. We don't really care too much about that for Jokic. So I do prefer him over Wemby. Obviously, 2K more expensive, but I think it's worth it tonight. I do want to play Jokic. It's just, two of the best values on the slate, Khalil Ware and Oso are center only. So you do have to sacrifice one of those guys if you want to get Jokic in there. I mean, I think it could easily prove worth it. And I've mentioned this for years. Jokic almost every season is quite a bit better when he plays at home than on the road, which makes sense. The big men going into Denver, the altitude difference, they're a little slower. Jokic, around 5 more fantasy points per game when playing at home this season than on the road. This one in Denver. I think we see a big game out of Jokic. I think he's putting up 70 plus here. So certainly someone I want to get in my lineup if I can make him fit.
Yeah. Any Knicks here? I feel like it's a spot where someone like Jalen Brunson could shine. I feel like I've tried this a few times and have not gotten him right too much. I did play him though the last time these teams played. I remember this because it was like the one time I can remember where I got him right and he absolutely dropped the hammer. He had 69 in that game. He played 47 minutes. I felt like that was an overtime game. I'm pretty sure it was maybe double OT. I can't remember off the top of my head, but he absolutely smashed. And it's a good spot for someone like Jalen Brunson to kind of, go at him. The bigs are going to have to deal with Jokic. And, it's a spot where JB might have a little more freedom to kind of do his thing and everything like that. So, double OT. It was double OT. Thank you for that being there. I do remember watching it and just being like, finally, I got the Jalen Brunson spot right here. So, yeah, Jalen Brunson, I do like. And I do think also that someone like maybe Josh Hart, who is questionable, this matchup wouldn't be terrible for someone like him as well. Not someone I need to play, though. More just like if he fit my team, I could play him. But that's really it. I don't know if I want to play like Mitch Rob. To me, I think is the ultimate GPP play all the time. And I always say this, but I don't worry as much. Like sometimes with these dominant centers, like Embiid for years, I never liked playing guys against them. But like Jokic, he's one guy I never mind playing bigs against them. And I do think Mitch Rob makes a lot of sense in this matchup. And if they sit Josh Hart, that's telling me, honestly, this is a spot where they could say, all right, Josh, take a rest. We might need Mitch Rob to play more anyways alongside Cat.
Yeah, would make sense. And yeah, I have no problem playing centers against Jokic. So I like that call. And I do agree with you on Brunson. I think he's the best overall Nick to get to if you can afford the price tag.
I think Mitch Rob's a sneaky GPP play. I like that here. All right, well, let's get to anti-play and play of the day. I know you got to get out of here at the top of the hour, so let's go through real quick. DC anti-play for you. Who you got?
We will go with Jalen Green. Going to be about 20% owned. I don't think he's a terrible play. I honestly don't hate this kind of chalk list that we're looking at. But with Allen in there, with Booker in there, we'll go with Jalen Green. I think he's a little bit overpriced.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Mikal Bridges, 24% owned, something like that. Mikal Bridges. No, thank you, Mr. Bridges. I am out. Who you got as your play of the day? The guy you have to have in your lineup, DC.
We'll go with my guy, Jaime Jaquez. Now, neither of us think he's going to start for the Heat, but that kind of keeps the ownership in check a little bit. People don't like playing expensive bench players. He's not super expensive, $5,900, but I think he's going to get us 35 minutes. I think this game is going to be close, and I think Jaquez has another big game.
All right, I like it, Mr. Jaime Jaquez for you, and I'm going to keep the we finished out with the Knicks. I'm going to finish us out staying with the Knicks here and Mr. Jalen Brunson. We're going to go with the combo too. I'm going to throw in low-owned Mitch Rob as a tournament play here. Again, I really like this more if they rule out Josh Hart, but I don't think anyone's playing Mitch Rob on this slate, and he does make a lot of sense to me. And Jalen Brunson makes a lot of sense to me too, and I think you can pair those guys together in tournaments and stack this game up here. If you can maybe find a way to get to Jokic, that's a juicy build with all three of those. I'm going to try and make a team with something like that, see if I can make it work here. And it would naturally fade a bunch of chalk at center on top of it. So I like double center tonight. Interesting going against the grain with a couple other centers here. So that's going to do it for this show. Like I said, guys, smash the like button on the video. We're going to get out of here, get the Coors playbook, late slate for tonight, the showdown for tonight's late game content, all up for the Run Pure Sports members. If you guys want to check it out, become a member, try it out, get in the Discord, come hang out, ask us questions, all that stuff. runpuresports.com. We'll be back on Monday. Don't forget MMA and CBB college basketball shows tomorrow at 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. Eastern. Don't miss out on those. For DC, I'm JSU. Good luck in your DraftKings DFS, and we'll check you guys on Monday. We're out.